Good morning. Welcome to Stivers Homestead. I am Jen and Zach is somewhere and there's Wyatt. Today is a big garden harvest day. We're going to harvest everything, but this morning we started with the herbs. So we've got basil, mostly basil I think in here, and a little bit of chocolate mint, and we're going to go ahead and get these hanging up. This is probably maybe our last big harvest, we'll see, but we want to get them hanging up and drying. Okay, I've gotten about 4 bundles hung up so far, and they're big bundles. And I've got a little bit left, but it's like smaller stems, so I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with those. If I wanna make pesto or if I wanna hang those too. But in the meantime, I already had a few rounds drying of basil, and they're completely dry now. So we're gonna go ahead and crush these up. We're gonna put them in this gallon here because after all of these dry, everything that I've been doing, it's gonna be a lot of basil. So we're gonna crush it up, put it in here, and then we're gonna put an oxygen absorber in with it to try and just keep it fresh and dry as long as possible. I've got this left, I've already started. So what I'm doing is I'm just gonna separate the leaves from the stems for the most part, not completely, and I put them over here in this bowl where I'm going to rinse them, make sure we got all the stuff off, and then we're going to make some more pesto because why not? We have probably enough for a year, but we're loving all the pesto. I'm going to fill this bowl up with water and let that kind of soak for just a little bit, and then I'll rinse it off, maybe do the whole process again. But I've got to get the kids started on school. We are running behind.
Right, so Jen is in the process of making the pesto. She's got the kids all good to go on homeschool, right?
For the moment.
For the moment, yeah. She's got like 3 minutes, somebody will be coming asking something. So she's got her basil soaking to make sure all them bugs get out of there. Have you even told them about the broth?
I don't think I have.
I haven't told you about the broth. We got broth going too. I'll show you that, and then I am going to start working on dismantling our freeze dryer because it's time to do some maintenance and some cleaning on it because it has been working overtime. And here, oh, fogged y'all up. So that is beef bone broth. So back when we had T-bone harvested, we told them we want everything, all the bones and all the stuff that you cut out. So we had those in the freezer, and she decided that it was tis time to do that. Bone broth, or just broth in general, is one of those things that you should always have in your pantry because there's always a way to make broth. Yeah. You should never be buying that broth from the store because it isn't, first off, it ain't good for you. It ain't real chicken broth. And secondly, it's so easy to make and pressure can yourself. So that is what we're doing there. Yep. So you can just kind of see there's been some splatter and stuff that's in here, and it's just time to really take her out and get her cleaned up. Oh yeah, that's nasty. So I did want to show you because this is very simple. It has this black rubber piece, which is where you get your sill on. You take that off and you can slide the innards off, and then it just unplugs, and then that allows you to do this. So the whole barrel comes out, then you can wipe it down with just warm soapy water. Nothing crazy, no big crazy chemicals or anything, and then just make sure you get it all dry. And then we put it back together, and I won't show you this boring part, but it's always good to run a round of bread in there just to get if there's any kind of the moisture that's still sitting in there. It's like the final step of cleaning it up. I just give you a little bread run. You just kind of crumble it up into little chunks. We're finally done with school. It was a really good day, and Zach has been working on the orders down at the store. So now that we're done with school, I'm gonna go ahead and chop up these onions. We got quite a lot of onions at Sam's Club, and we haven't used them all yet, so I want to go ahead and chop them up and then get them in the freeze dryer so that we don't lose them before they go bad. And we love having freeze dried onions anyway, so I thought it would be a really good idea. Shoot doggy, get my eyes all watery. Came in there and helped Jen finish up cutting up the onions, and I am taking our onion peels to the compost. So we debate back and forth on a lot of things on, do we just throw it to the animals? Do we put it in compost? Onions are one of those things you just put in the compost. You don't want your animals eating all that onion stuff and getting them all worked up. Not good for them. So to the compost it goes. Lights out. What are you all on? Drugs. Pretty day.
What is happening?
What are y'all giggling about? Just the cat sitting there?
Yeah.
Raylan, what did you...
Huh?
Trust her.
Hey, y'all go do something.
Did you just fall?
That just, no.
Did she give you something too?
No, it didn't fall.
Just saying, everyone in this house needs to stay aware. I saved Wyatt's life earlier. I caught Raylan trying to give him water. I don't know what it was, but I know that little sisters don't just do nice things for their brother like that.
What was it?
Water.
So I'm sure it wasn't anything deadly, but I'm sure it had some grossness to it. You know, that kids do. No, so everyone needs to stay aware because Raylan gets on these kicks. One time she tried to give Zach toilet water.
Yeah, she did. She just sure did. She gives herself away very easy,
Yes, she does.
so that works out well. All right, y'all. Those are in the freeze dryer. We're about to make dinner. You all get to see dinner on the next video, but now you got to join me in the garden for an important message. There's some things I want to talk about that I saw over this past week when we were in Maryland that really blew my mind. But before we do that, I'm out here assessing the situation in the garden because we haven't seen it in about a week. And there's good things and there's not so good things. It looks like our summer garden is starting to go down. But that's okay, because with every change, there's adjustments. One thing still popping are these beautiful zinnias. Gosh, I love zinnias. They're so pretty. This Jerusalem artichoke's really just doing its own thing. Lots of flowering, very beautiful flowers if you've never grown them before. Very pretty, huge pollinator, but it is everywhere. The cabbage and cauliflower and broccoli are looking okay. Little bug pressure, so we need to take care of that. Gonna have to clip some basil. Jeez, oh Pete, more pesto coming our way. The Roselle hibiscus is getting nice and large. Hopefully we get to come to flower. That would be awfully sweet. I hope y'all can see that. I'm glad I saw it this time. I've done walked through 2 of them. Ginormous spider webs. The green beans are looking done. So when Jen and I got to Maryland, we had to go to a grocery store to get some food, get some water, stuff like that we weren't able to bring with us. And we were shocked. First off, when we went to the grocery store, felt like I had all eyes on me, like I was about to steal everything up in that place. And that was my first warning that we're not leaving here anywhere cheap. So we're doing a self-checkout because, you know, we got to do the checkout stuff now. There's nobody that can ring you out. So we're starting to check out, and this lady is staring a freaking hole through me. So now, first off, I do want to add, I didn't see any shortages. Like, at least from my naked eye, it looked like the shelves were well stocked. But I think this is why. So I'm scanning all this stuff, and I had a water on the bottom of the cart. I always scan like the big stuff last. It's kind of how I do my job for their job kind of thing. I like to do it last because I want to get everything on top, then I'll go down and I'll scan that thing. And that is why she was staring at me, because when I scanned the generic 24 pack of water bottles, it was $10. $10 for a 24 pack of water. Now let me back up just a tad, because me and Jen, we do not buy water bottles. We have a Berkey filter. We do all of our filtering through our home spigot, and that is how we get our drinking water. So we haven't bought a water bottle in a while. So it got me freaking investigating on why a 24 pack of water was $10. So y'all have heard me talk about inflation, shortages, and the stuff that's there. Because we do such a farm life and we try to produce all of our stuff here, a lot of those things haven't directly impacted us, but we know they have impacted you all. While I'm investigating the prices of water in different areas, which Maryland is a little high compared to the others, but we're still averaging like $5 to $8 for a 24 pack of water bottles, which in a sense should be freaking free. All you're doing is buying plastic. You're buying plastic for that price because that water shouldn't cost anything. As I'm doing this investigation, on the TV at our house, the local news station, I saw the reporter had a dozen eggs in her hand. And I was like, what in the world is she doing? So I draw attention to it for just a second. And she's talking about inflation rates. And she's talking about the price hacks on everything that's going up. This lady grabs this egg carton, opens it up, and says that eggs inflate. She had a sticky note on the inside of the egg carton. And it said they're up 398% in price. 398% on eggs. Are the chickens dying? Is the water drying up? Where's it going? Why do we have such a price hack on these specific things? The daily need stuff that people do. And like we've been talking about in all of our preserving videos, eggs, milk, water, flour, those are the things that they're starting to hit really, really hard. But the issue isn't that there's a lack of chickens. The issue isn't that there's a lack of water. They're blaming it on fertilizer, pesticides, truckers, hauling it, plastic. Those are where the shortages are that are raising the prices for such a freaking natural product. Eggs come from a chicken. Literally need to do nothing but feed that chicken bugs. They can eat bugs all day. They don't even need feed. The feed is specifically to keep them around your farm so they don't venture for bugs too far. Water. Everybody talks about how expensive a Berkey or an Alexa Pure is. Not at $10 a pack for water. I guarantee you're paying for them things in about a week. So, how easy would it be to grab you a couple chickens, put them in your backyard, and grab you a Berkey that you can fill your tap up with and have free eggs and water for the rest of the time? And even if inflation wasn't a thing, the issue they're having is with chemicals. Chemicals are the problem on what making you charge you more for your water and eggs. Chemicals, not the water and eggs specifically. What they cover them in, what they protect them in, what makes them long lasting, the freaking plastic that is giving you cancer in your body. So come on, y'all. It's already jacked up the price. And now it's proof that it's the chemical base that is causing the price to go up. So what are you waiting for? And I'm telling you right now, I don't care where you are. I don't care where you are, you can get a Berkey filter, period. No HOA is gonna tell you can't, none of that. We're not even affiliates of that. However, we love water filtration. It is so important to have. If you're in an HOA and they don't allow you to have chickens, you need to get out of there, because that's just part of the problem too. Being in something that won't even allow you to raise chickens, even a few hens to give you daily eggs, that's a problem. And I don't care where you are or what stage of your life you're in, you need to get out of there. And you need to find a place that you can have a few chickens, because again, I don't care how old you are. You can raise 3 hens and get you some eggs daily. If anything, get a neighboring kid to come over and do an Easter egg hunt and collect your eggs for you. It'd be fun for them, and you won't have to pay so much on eggs and water. All of this is so much more than inflation, period. Inflation is just a way to charge a little bit more and get a little bit more money. But they are attacking the things that matter the most, the things that keep our core self and our core families producing well. It's not like it's all over Pepsis or Cokes. Pepsis and Cokes, yes, the price is going up, but naturally, I haven't seen any $15 cases of Cokes, right? Because they want you drinking that. They don't want you being able to rely on water, and they want you to move to, you know what, I'll just get sodas this time, because that is where they're trying to get you to go to. But water is all you need. Put the sodas down, just drink the water. And I'll end it with this. If you are in that stage of your life and you're starting to think about a new property and you're wanting to go a little bit more into this, like we were when we moved here, make sure your property has some form of a water source. Now, if it could be a spring, if it could be something natural that is flowing and creeks, that's perfect. That is your ideal state, because it doesn't take much to get that clean. It's already gonna be naturally clean from the natural spring, or if it's a creek that's flowing from the mountain, you're gonna be in a better spot than, say, a stagnant pond. However, any water source will work, because you can boil that water into clean drinking water and then filter it down through your Berkey. We also have life straws, which are just the straws, and emergency needs for go bags, so we can always have access to water if we needed to. Make sure the property that you're looking for has a source of water, because that, out of anything, is what you need most. And so y'all, this one just hit me harder. It hit me harder when I paid $10 for plastic for free water, but I paid $10 for plastic, 24 bottles of plastic that I'm just gonna throw away. Might as well just took the $10, threw it away, gave him a shot of a little dose of cancer, and then called it a day, because that's basically what we did. But in the situation where we were traveling, we didn't have our Berkey with us. I can guarantee you next time, I'm taking the daggone Berkey. And thankfully, we have way more chickens than anybody ever needs. And we always bring our eggs, so we don't have to pay for those prices. And I don't want you to either. So I was joking with Jen. You know how radio ads, they don't work on you immediately? And we actually ran a radio ad back in our old place for Stivers Homestead. And she was telling us, you know, you need to at least at a minimum run it for 3 months before it starts getting repetitive in people's head. Like, how many of y'all know the O'Reilly Auto Parts end of their little song on their radio? A lot, right? Things like that, repetition, are what finally convince us to make a move. So I don't want you all to sit back and be like, Zach, you've already talked about inflation, you talked about this stuff. I know, but as it gets more serious, we need to get more serious. So this repetition will hopefully start clicking in your head that we need to do something at a minimum. We can at least get a Berkey filter and filter our own water and stop buying $10 plastic. Or we can get us 3 hens and get a few eggs a day and not have to pay for that outrageous price. We still charge our eggs $3 a dozen, period, here at our farm store. So if you're close and you don't want to pay that price, come get eggs from us. We'll never raise that price. Nothing's changed. Why would we raise the price of those eggs? Not a thing's changed. They're still just walking around eating bugs and we're collecting their eggs. So the fact that they're raising them, something's changed, and it's not a good change. So you're spending more, you're getting worse things in your body, and that is the problem with inflation. So y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. It was a fun day in the life with a little bit of my rant going on there at the end, but I hope it hit home. I hope you all understand that we're doing this because we love y'all, and we're doing this because we want to see change in your own home and making sure that you all aren't getting screwed by these prices, and most importantly, the chemicals that are in the stuff that you're paying way out of pocket for. So y'all, if you're new around here, hit that subscribe button for me. We love y'all. Bye.